what stood out to you, I believe, is the 6.5%, or about 6.5%, that line. Why? Tell us why that's groundbreaking.
Well,
or is it?
If you look at where growth was in 2017, we were looking at 6.9% year-on-year growth. What came out of the NPC was we're looking at a target of around 6.5% growth. So that's the growth delta there is a negative. The other thing that caught my eye from the NPC was the fiscal deficit target of 2.6%. So that's down from 3%. But if you're really honest about where China got the 6.9% growth from in 2017, it was due to massive credit stimulus, largely thanks to local government borrowing. Budget deficit, if you included the local government in off-balance sheet borrowing, would be closer to 12 to 14% of GDP.
Now, Tom, so 6.5%, we can argue 6.5%, 6.4%, 6.6%. Sometimes these levels are academic, but what's a level that really starts to hurt? What's a level that everyone starts to feel?
Yeah, I think the GDP numbers are just getting less and less salience in the market because of the remarkable stability that we see in those headline numbers, which raises questions about how accurate they are as a gauge of what's really going on in the underlying economy. So I think more and more you're going to start seeing people paying close attention to market prices, what's happening with metal prices, for example, to some high-frequency private indicators like the Caixin PMI. I doubt we're going to see a marked dip in the GDP numbers. It's possible, though, if we start seeing some of those high-frequency private and market gauges starting to fall, that's going to ring alarm bells on what's happening with China's growth.
Now, the other matter that came out, and I'll start with you here as well, the massive changes that are going to take place across the regulatory framework. So the PBOC is taking some powers are going to be passed on to the NDRC. Put that all together for us. What's the key takeaway from that?
Well, I mean, these changes in the regulatory structure have been a long time coming. I think for many years we've heard talk about some kind of integrated super regulator. I think it's a move in the right direction. The People's Bank of China has lender of last resort powers. They're the people who are going to be wading into the market in a crisis, so they should be taking the lead in writing the rules and managing macroprudential policy. Bringing the banking and the insurance regulator together also makes sense. The market is more and more integrated. The regulator should be more integrated too. In other respects, though, these reforms underwhelm. The securities regulator still independent, and of course, if we look at the growth in shadow banking in China, a lot of that is coming from asset managers who are under the regulation of the securities regulator.